Kanye West did what now? Not Kim exposing Kanye for giving her a whole brain disease that almost led to her death. I didn't even know someone could give other people brain illnesses, but baby, Kim claims Kanye did, and the details are messy as hell. Apparently, all those times Kanye came on the internet crying about Kim keeping his kids away from him, he wasn't even making any efforts to see them kids. And the few times he did, he deliberately got the internet to involve his fans so they'll drag her for being a terrible mom. Whole time, she's the only parent actually spending time with the kids while still dealing with the mental illness he gave her. Not only did Kim's mental health decline massively during her time with Kanye, she also revealed that their divorce triggered a lot of health issues, including her psoriasis. Now, if you've been keeping up with Kim, then you already know that she got diagnosed with psoriasis back in 2011.
But it's psoriasis.
Psoriasis? I cannot have psoriasis. When the doctor tells me I have psoriasis, I have heard of it before because my mom has always had it. But, my mom didn't have like red flaky dots all over her.
There are a whole bunch of things that influence this. Stress, food, water, diet, travel has a lot to do with it. May not be curable, but it's controllable.
Not curable?
It's not curable because you can't alter the genetics.
My career is doing ad campaigns and swimsuit photo shoots. People don't understand the pressure on me to look perfect. When I gain a pound, it's in the headlines. Imagine what the tabloids would do to me if they saw all these spots. I'm not going to get it on my face, am I?
Well, but I think the number one way that you can help yourself is to try to sort of lead an easier, slower-paced life.
That's just not possible.
Now, as y'all heard, the doctor clearly told her the only way to control her psoriasis was to live a slower-paced life and avoid stress. And those are the two things that Kanye didn't let her have, especially when they were getting a divorce. Kim recently revealed that her psoriasis had actually been inactive for years, but when she was in the middle of divorcing Kanye, he put her through so much stress that her psoriasis came back. And baby, it was the worst it had ever been. I haven't had psoriasis since I got divorced, and it just started coming back. I have psoriasis again. I felt more stressed, probably just because I had to super protect what I had to protect. And Kim wasn't lying because it was actually right around the time she was divorcing Kanye that she started having some serious psoriasis flare-ups. She even developed psoriasis arthritis too, which caused multiple parts of her body to get swollen and become immobile. So apart from her having to deal with Kanye dragging her on the internet on a daily basis and making up lies about her skin was messed up, her body was swollen, and she couldn't feel certain parts of her body? Girl, I know she hated Kanye for that.
Mine came on when I turned 30 years old, and I remember it so clearly because it was my nephew Mason's birthday party. I think his first or second birthday. I wore this silver sequin dress and it was itchy. And I thought it was just a rash from the dress because it came that night. Got home, saw my mom at the birthday party, and she looked at my legs and goes, "My God, you have psoriasis."
Oh,
and I said,
her.
"No,
She's
don't."
Like Kris Jenner, MD. How often do you get the joint pain?
I've only had it once.
Oh, and it went away.
Yeah.
And how often do you get the flare up, the redness?
It was just constant.
First was psoriasis, then it was the arthritis.
Right.
The arthritis, I have a niece who was diagnosed with it. There was a lot of confusion, whether it was psoriasis or lupus causing the joint pain.
Because
Why is it so confusing for people?
Because people with psoriasis can have false positive lupus blood tests.
I had a false positive blood test. When I started to get a little bit desperate was when it started to cover my face, and there was a spot really close to my eye, and it would just burn a little bit. And I remember I had the Met Ball coming up that week, and it was covering my face. And
you can get eye involvement like conjunctivitis. And
Right. It can just,
it can be systemic. It can affect the organs. It can affect the heart and lungs.
No, I remember that's when I first met Dr. Wallace.
Your hands were swollen.
Yeah, and I went to bed one night. My phone was by the side of my bed. I never check my phone at night, ever, and I never use the restroom in the middle of the night. But I got up to use the restroom, couldn't go back to bed, so I grabbed my phone, and I couldn't really pick up my phone. It hurt so much to use my hands that night, and I thought, oh, I must have slept on my hand, and it's a little numb or something. And I went back to bed. Woke up the next day, it was still like that. And I remember I was doing Jimmy Kimmel, and he was in Vegas, and I was my ankles were really hurting. and it was just my joints. And I thought, what is this?
Now, if you thought all that was bad, wait till you hear about the brain aneurysm that she developed because of her divorce. During a recent episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, she revealed that as a result of the stress she went through with her divorce, she developed a brain aneurysm that could possibly end her life. Fortunately for Kim, the tumor in her brain hasn't ruptured yet, which is why she's still alive, but there's still a chance that it could if she doesn't manage it well.
A little aneurysm. Whoa. They're like, just stress. And I'm like, why the is this happening?
People think that I have the luxury of walking away.
This week has been the hardest.
Kim Kardashian recently revealed that she was unfortunately diagnosed with a brain aneurysm, which is a condition that can sound frightening, but is more common than people think. It forms when a weak spot develops in a blood vessel in the brain and slowly balloons outward, like a thin patch on a worn balloon. Most aneurysms remain harmless and are found by accident, but if one ruptures, it can cause bleeding around the brain, which is called a subarachnoid hemorrhage, which can be life-threatening. Certain factors make aneurysms more likely to form or rupture, including high blood pressure, smoking, and family history. They're usually detected through MRI or CT angiography and treated with careful monitoring, surgical clipping, or coiling. Have you ever known someone who's had one? Let me know in the comments and follow them for your health IQ.
Kim went off on Kanye for making up that narrative that she abandoned him when things got tough because she never loved him. She said, whether she likes it or not, she has 4 kids with him, which means she'll be forced to deal with him for the rest of her life, even if they aren't married. She called Kanye out for lying to people that she doesn't let him see his kids when the real tea is he has chosen not to see the kids. She said when they initially got divorced, she and Kanye had a planned-out routine for co-parenting. She was even happy that he bought a house right next to theirs because that was going to make co-parenting easy. However, Kanye completely disregarded the agreement they had, ran off with Bianca, and started spreading lies that she was keeping the kids away from him.
So my job as a mom is to just make sure that at a time when that behavior is happening is just to make sure that they are protected. As much as people think that I have the luxury of walking away and not dealing ever again, that's not my reality. This person, we have 4 kids together. Very confusing because it'll be all this talk on the internet of like, I'm keeping the kids. He's never once called and asked. But then I'll wake up and it's on Twitter that I'm keeping the kids. So it's just when it's not true and not rational, I just have to I can't engage all the time. Not a kidnapping. We haven't left. We're in the same spot. We have the same address, so he knows where his kids are at. What happened to the house that you bought next door and we were gonna co-parent and do it back and forth and you take him to school every day? I was like, have dinner with us every night. Let's have dinner as a family every night. And obviously it was just, that wasn't what he wanted. And I get that, maybe that's too much.
Does he ever apologize?
No. I'm not looking for it. I don't.
This is the first time Kim is really clapping back at Kanye, and honey, you can already tell she's fed up with him and his antics. It's something new every day. She's done tolerating. And can we talk about the fact that she literally blamed her brain aneurysm and psoriasis flare-ups on him? If this is what she went through towards the end of their marriage, then you can only imagine what she went through all those years they were together. But despite all this, people still dragged her, claiming that she's now trying to spin the whole thing against Kanye so she'll be seen as the victim. One person said, Kim, you snatched him and his money. You should not overlook the possibility that your stress drove him to this behavior. You dread him and divorced him for. Why is everything always about you? Another person said, this woman is using her platform to rewrite the narrative on their relationship. Kim is no victim. She lies for likes. She got on TV to lie about Ray wanting to sell a second sex tape. She is deliberately trying to trigger that mentally ill man into crashing out again. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Kim accusing Kanye of giving her a brain aneurysm? And don't you really think she's making all this up to turn people against Kanye? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.